Hey YouTube, welcome back. Thanks for stopping in and checking out Messing with Mr. Wilson. Out here in the garage again tonight. A couple little projects going on. I know I've talked a little bit to you guys about going and running an indoor race, and I think I'm actually going to go do it this weekend. So with that being said, I got to get both bikes prepped and ready to go to the races. As you can see, I still got the sand tires on my 450 from playing out in the snow. I did get my daughter's DRR swapped back over. So I figured tonight maybe I just give you guys a quick little rundown of some of the things that I go over and check and try and get ready before I head out to a race. And mainly this little DRR, it likes to vibrate a lot, and it vibrates bolts loose. As you can see, there's no fender bolt on that side. There's no fender bolt on this side. I believe it's missing some on the rear. So I just kind of like to go over like most of the nuts and bolts and stuff and try and get all those tight. Make sure all the tires are on and tight. So I figured maybe I'd just show you guys a quick little snippet of, what goes on before a race. And also, if you guys watched the last video, I put a water pump on the DRR, and she took it out and she rode it for a little while and brought it back, and it is not leaking anymore. So that's a plus. We got that fixed. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and get my tires thrown back on this 450. That way we can get her set up and ready to go. Alright, we got the tires changed. One other thing I like to do while I've got it up in the air, I like to kind of rock the axle here, see if my bearings are loose or tight, and also see if the hubs are loose. And that one, it's a little loose, but we're probably not going to be able to get to the next hole in the cotter pin. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And like I said, this side over here, do the same thing. Like I said, everything feels tight there. I also try and look at my brakes, make sure I've got good brake pad and stuff, and these ones are pretty good. And then also while I'm down here, I normally lube the chain up. So let's grab some chain lube here. Yeah, it's just kind of nice also, like I said, while this is up here, it's in neutral. You can just roll it around to oil the chain. So we'll go ahead and get that done and move on to the next project. Alright, I got the chain lubed. That was pretty quick and easy. One of the other things I do is I normally will check your ball joints, see if there's any play in the ball joints, the upper control arm bushings and stuff, make sure there's no play in those. I know these ones are good because if you guys have watched some of my other videos, you'll see that I just put all this stuff on there. So it was all greased up and everything. There's probably 20 minutes of ride time on it in the snow since I put all that on. It's got brand new tie rods. But one way I check them is I put my legs up against the tire and then turn the handlebars. And generally you can feel if there's a little bit of play or anything in them. Like I said, this one's definitely good because they're all brand new. The other thing I also like to do is make sure you've at least got nylon lock nuts on your ball joints and cotter pins and your tie rods. like I said, I try and keep those. I saw too many guys at races have ball joints come off and tie rods and stuff, and it never ends good whenever steering components come loose. So like I said, this bike is pretty much good to go. I changed the oil in it not too long ago. Probably can check the air filter. So we'll pop the seat here, maybe. There we go, one-handed. Yeah, that air filter's pretty clean. So like I said, I try and keep up on the maintenance on this thing, because like I said, I do ride it pretty hard most of the time. So like I said, there's very little time on the oil, and we'll check that, make sure it's full. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but we're right at the full mark. Let's see here. There. But, so we're right at the full mark there. The other thing, I normally set my tire pressures, but I don't do that till I'm at the track, because I generally have some that leak. So I'll get an air tank ready and take that with me. So this one pretty much good to go. We need to check the fuel. Definitely need some fuel. So we'll go ahead and fuel that up. Might as well check this one while we're at it, see if it needs fuel. More than likely this one does too, because this little two-stroke just rinks it. Yeah, she's down there a little ways. So I'll go ahead and grab the gas cans, and we'll top those ones off. Alright, we got both the bikes fueled up. They both got almost between 3/4 and a full tank. Ended up emptying both of my gas cans to fill them up. So I don't like going to the races without any extra fuel. So I'll have to stop and get some before I head out there this weekend. And I always normally take extra oil, extra gas, tools, whatever extra parts I might have that I may need just in case. And this thing, I always take spark plugs. You just never know if you're gonna foul plug or not. But anyhow, I went ahead and, as you guys saw, double checked all the wheels. They were all tight. I even did the front ones on the 450, and then I checked my rear bearings, checked my rear brakes back here. Lubed up this chain, and one thing I noticed when I was lubing this chain is it's actually a little bit loose. One of the other things I did recently to prepare for this is I dropped the front sprocket down a tooth, because like I said, we're running indoor, so it's going to be short, tight track. And like I said, she's only rode it for 5 minutes after I changed that with the paddle tires on it. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust to this chain. And the other thing I'm going to do is find some bolts and put in these fenders, because it's missing. Well, I showed you guys some of the front ones, and I believe it's also missing some and on the rear. So yeah, we're missing one right down here. So we'll go ahead and get that in there, and like I said, we'll be getting pretty close. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. All right, guys, one other thing that I want to stress on this thing. It seems like almost every other race, the bolts on this head pipe right up in here seem to come loose. So I try and check those, not even before a race, but almost before every time she rides it. Because like I said, those things seem to always vibrate and come out pretty often. So that's why I stood it up like this. It's just easier to get under there and tighten those bolts. And normally before a race, I would wash these things all up and everything too, but it's a little chilly outside, so I'm not going to wash them up. They're going to be some dirty pigs going to the races. They kind of look clean in the camera, but trust me, they're not. They've got dirt all over them. So I think that's about it for getting the bikes prepped and ready to go. Like I said, I just got to stop and get some fuel yet. But kind of over here is my little, I kind of get everything gathered up that I might need. I got my jug of oil, my air tank, my 2 gas cans. I got a tool kit that I take. I normally take this guardrail block, just because as you guys saw, I use it all the time. It's nice for throwing it up there and changing the tires and stuff. What else do I normally take? I don't know, I have to think about it, but I know I gotta get my gear ready and everything too. So like I said, I got my helmet, my daughter's helmet sitting over there. Of course, all my gear is in the house. My boots are in my gear bag right there. Her boots are in there. So like I said, that's pretty much about it for getting the bikes ready and getting them prepped. So like I said, we're going to try and head out this weekend. If you guys are in the area, like Southern Ohio area, and you guys stop out and check out the races down there. I believe it's called Battle of the Barn down in Jackson, Ohio. It's a little bit of a drive for me. I think it's about 3.5 hours or so. So I'll have a little bit of a drive. But like I said, if you guys are interested, stop out and check that out. And with that, thanks for watching, guys, and hope you guys have a great evening. So we'll catch you in the next one.